Hi guys, welcome back to Seth Speaks. In this video, I will be giving my review on Black Widow. The video will be divided into two parts. In the first part, I will be giving my general review of the movie so that there won't be any spoilers, not even minor ones. In the second part, there will be spoilers because I'll be talking about the specifics of what I loved and what I didn't love about the film. Let's start first with my general thoughts about the film. I really liked it. It does have similar vibes with the films from Phase 1 and Phase 2, particularly Captain America: The Winter Soldier with the thriller/spy genre. Like many MCU films, it's definitely packed with action and fight sequences. Definitely way more than what we've seen in the shows recently. So it's very much what you would expect from a Marvel film, but at the same time, it's keeping with this theme that the Phase 4 projects have going on, which is the development of the characters' relationships with one another, as well as character development itself. We see Natasha's previous relationships before she became an Avenger, and we also get a glimpse into her past to understand how she became the person that she is in the movies that we'd seen her in. Now, I don't want to compare Captain Marvel and Black Widow because they're two completely different films, but I couldn't help but compare and notice that I liked Black Widow a lot more. And I think it has to do with having grown up seeing Natasha Romanoff on screen since Iron Man 2. Having a movie that is focused on her makes sense because we don't know too much about her, but we're already well acquainted with her character. Whereas with Carol Danvers, we didn't know anything about her, and she was just kind of introduced right before the Infinity Saga ended. Also, Black Widow takes place right between Civil War and Infinity War in the MCU timeline, and it shows what Natasha was up to during that period of time. And I just want to say that Florence Pugh as Yelena absolutely stole the spotlight. She delivered the perfect balance between sarcastic, snarky, and tough, yet at the same time also vulnerable. Her character, along with Natasha's and Melina's, was just really well written. A lot of people think that when you write a tough female character that she has to be constantly tough and even emotionless, but that's not the case with these characters. There was a perfect balance with the toughness and vulnerability. They're complex and realistic in terms of their personalities and motivations. I'm super excited to see more of Yelena in future MCU projects because she's quickly become a favorite character of mine. So overall, the film was just really well done and I would watch it again as well as recommend others to watch it. With that being said, it's time to get into the specifics of what I loved and what I didn't love about the film. This part contains spoilers for the film, so please proceed with caution if you haven't seen the film already. I'll start off first with what I didn't like. The film definitely felt more like a sequel than an origin story. We only get glimpses of Natasha's origin through flashbacks or through dialogue. I was hoping to see more in depth of her training at the Red Room, the missions she took as the Black Widow, but the most we got was like a quick glimpse of her training as a child in the opening credits. Also, ballet seemed to be like such a big deal when the Red Room was mentioned in Age of Ultron, but there was not even a single mention or depiction of ballet in the film. The closest was the synchronized movements of the widows, but even then it's not even very ballet-like at all. The Taskmaster reveal also felt a little underwhelming. While I understand that Antonia being the Taskmaster was supposed to be, an antagonist because she represents Natasha's bloody past and actions, it just makes more sense to frame Dreykov as the sole villain. He's not only Natasha's abuser, but Melina's and Yelena's as well. And the conflict with the Taskmaster wasn't nearly explored in as much depth as the conflict with Dreykov, which makes the character of the Taskmaster fall a little flat. But those were the only things that I didn't like too much about the film. Now let's move on and talk about what I did love. I absolutely loved how the movie highlights Natasha's compassionate nature as well as her capabilities of outsmarting people. Not only do we get to see her being protective and caring in the beginning,
Get away from her! Don't touch her! Don't touch her!
but she chose to let Taskmaster out of the cell when it would have been easier to let her die when the Red Room was falling.
I'm gonna open the door. You're gonna come after me, It's okay. I know you're still in there. And I'm not gonna leave you.
She sees Antonia, not the Taskmaster, even if Taskmaster was programmed to kill her. And that says so much about Natasha's character. She chose to release Antonia, and even though they fought at the end, she ultimately chooses to yield. I read somewhere about how there's strength in yielding, so Natasha is indeed a strong character, not just because she's an amazing fighter, but because she knew when to keep fighting and when to yield. Her outsmarting people was my favorite thing in the films, especially this one. In the beginning, we think she's going to be captured by Ross because it seems like they had her cornered. You see her watching the surveillance cameras on her phone, which is why it's logical to assume that she would be cornered. Plus, when she heard a sound outside the bathroom and turned towards it, the editing was done in such a way that made you think that Ross and his agents were in the same place as Natasha. But then you see her leaving the bathroom, and it's cut together with a scene where the agents storm the bathroom, where it's revealed that Natasha wasn't there at all and she was on a boat all along. It's the same thing with her final confrontation with Dreykov. The film purposefully withheld the scenes where she was plotting with Melina because then the tension wouldn't be so high. We think that Melina betrayed them, but then it's revealed that she and Natasha switched places using the high-tech mask to fool Dreykov and the others. And it did seem like at one point that Dreykov was getting the upper hand because he caught on to the plan. But then there's more revelations, that Natasha knew about the hormonal lock and Melina told her how to get around it. It's pure genius, and you can't help but admire just how brilliant Natasha is at scheming and outsmarting her enemies. Apart from Natasha's characterization, I loved the found family dynamic with Natasha, Yelena, Melina, and Alexei. For those who have seen my 6 of Crows Unleveraged video, you guys know I'm a sucker for found family, and this film just killed it with that trope. The sibling bickering and bantering with Natasha and Yelena was hilarious.
You just steal a guy's car.
So you want me to chase him down and unsteal it? Anytime now, please.
Shut up!
And even though the family had been faked for a mission, it seemed like Natasha was the only one in denial about calling them a family at first. Yelena refers to herself as Natasha's sister at the beginning, and even Alexei and Melina call them my girls. She does eventually call herself as Yelena's sister.
Zvani moja malenkaya sestra.
And even admits that she had not one, but 2 families.
It's funny, my whole life I didn't think I had any family. Turns out I got 2.
Despite not having a blood relation with each other, the importance of the familial bonds they formed was highlighted. Melina, in particular, chose to betray the Red Room and Dreykov because of how strong her bonds were to Natasha and Yelena. She even refers to herself as Yelena's mother after the dinner scene where Yelena told Melina that she was her real mother.
It was real to me. You are my mother. You were my real mother. The closest thing I ever had to one.
Yelena, it's me, it's Mama.
And I think that that's just really beautiful. They're not related, and sure, they started off as a fake family, but the bond they created with each other was so strong even after all these years of not seeing each other. Yes, they had issues that they needed to hash out, but they had each other's backs, trusted each other, and worked together to take down Dreykov and the Red Room. So while there are some things I disliked about the film, the things I liked greatly outweighed the things that I didn't like. It's not the perfect film, and it was long overdue, but it was very enjoyable to watch. I liked that we know more about Natasha's past, and, being introduced to Yelena, Melina, and Alexei. I really hope that we get to see them in future MCU films and shows. And that's a wrap on my review on Black Widow. Tune in next week for my video on the secret history and if we were villains. Thank you guys so much for watching my video, and please don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe.